Democratic Congressman John Garamendi of California. Great to have you on the program again. It's important that I talk with Congressman Biggs and yourself. Sure. You're in border states. Right. Neither of you is really budging. He told me where they'd been. I need to know what Republicans are really going to do now. Can they get back to $1.6 billion? I don't know what the magic number is. What is the magic on your side of the aisle that gets us out of this shutdown?
Well, the magic is to reopen government, to open up all those agencies from the national parks to the Treasury Department, the IRS, transportation. All of those agencies can be opened up because those are not border wall agencies. The Department of Homeland Security, we could put that on a short leash so that in February, say the next month, we would have to come back and then reauthorize and reappropriate money for that particular agency. We just passed, not more than an hour and a half ago, an additional bill to open up the rest of government, leaving the Department of Homeland Security with 30 days that they would then we would then engage with the president and negotiate some reasonable solution to this. The president gave that
to Nancy Pelosi inside the Oval Office. That was the one thing everybody agreed on. Like, they couldn't agree on who walked out and who had what expression on their face. But the president said to Nancy Pelosi, for the barrier, would you revisit it with funding 30 days from now if I reopen the government immediately? And she said no. You guys are not on the same page in your party, it would sound like. Well, actually, it wasn't a barrier. He said, will you fund my wall at $5.7 billion? What is the difference between a barrier at this point, which we know is a steel slat system, and the concrete wall that is now off the table? Please educate me on that, because I don't get it. Well, I don't know that anybody really gets it, but the reality is that that particular issue of how best to secure the border needs to be comprehensive, and it needs to be negotiated. There are many, many parts to it, much of which is now on the table. We need to sit down and do that. Why not do that in 30 days? The president offered. Well, I agree entirely. You agree with the president. Maybe you should be leading the Democrats. I don't know, but how do we get out of the stuck position? Take the bills that are now over in the Senate that reopen all of government, including the Department of Homeland Security, which would then have 30 days of funding, during which time we would then sit down and negotiate all of these issues. But frankly, from my point of view, it is unconscionable to hold this entire nation's government hostage to a border wall. It doesn't make any sense. It's not necessary. We have offered in the past to work on a comprehensive solution for border security. We're not talking about, and although we would certainly like to deal with all of the issues of immigration, that could be part of it. But let's reopen government. Those bills are now over in the Senate. Those can be acted on this afternoon by the Senate. They could be on the president's desk. Sure. This shutdown doesn't have to happen. Well, and I know you voted on Interior just in the last hour when I was on TV on Outnumbered, because I saw it cross my alerts on my phone. Real quickly, you've got some Republicans who are joining Democrats. Yes. And you've got some Democrats who are joining Republicans. Go for the wall. You've got Republicans saying, no, don't go for the wall. Let's just get this thing open. Who is talking with the people who are willing to jump sides and meet in the middle? Because maybe there's something there. Well, there certainly is. And as I've said 3 times already, we can fund all of the government agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security, and continue the negotiations without having America, the economy, which was talked about earlier, as well as all those people without paychecks, having to endure this shutdown. It's not necessary. What is necessary is that we reopen government and we sit down in a quiet, heated way to work out how we're going to provide comprehensive border security. Actually, you know what? With all due respect, Congressman Garament, y'all can get as heated as you want, because it's on now. Let me tell you why I say that. This is urgent. The Senate is out. The House is done with business. This is just breaking now. Longest government shutdown in U.S. history set in stone. You guys have started to go home. I can't even imagine what Americans are going to say to you when you get home. Like, get back to work in Washington. Solve it. Good luck. Because you might be going home and you're going to hear it. Well, let's just hang on a second. The House of Representatives has passed out
2 different funding proposals to
We heard
fund
you.
all of government. That is done. We have done
you.
that piece of work.
Yeah, the Senate is out. The House is done with business. Congressman Garamendi of the great state of California, thank you, sir. We'll bring you back.